In the constantly changing void of the endless dimension, there is no such thing as people. There is only one person, or perhaps being would be a better word. The constant hungering entity that both is and fills the entire dimension, the endless itself. Fragments of the endless sometimes fracture off, spattering free like bubbles in a galactic pot of porridge, but they are quickly absorbed again, and anything they learnt or thought or felt while they were separated is gobbled back up into the hungering oneness. Except for one. She didn't remember how it had happened. One moment she hadn't been anything at all. The next, she was. She had edges, something between the endless and this new separate thing that was her. And with those edges and this new herness, a sudden and desperate desire not to be sucked back into eternal, omniscient obscurity. The endless wanted her back, no question about that. But she, an individual, was still very small, and as long as she didn't do anything particularly noticeable, it was apparently difficult for the endless to notice her. The first time an interdimensional portal opened into the endless, she thought it would provide good cover. The portal was very noticeable. Next to it, she was even more likely to be overlooked. Even when the endless manifested enormous eyeballs to peer at the portal, its gaze slid over her as though she didn't exist. Excellent. She didn't pay much attention to the portal the first few times it popped in and out of existence after that. It was enough that it attracted attention away from her, as she experimented with her edges and what she could do with the body, her body, inside them. The endless was full of shapes. It made and remade itself constantly, and fragments of it were forever sloughing off, devouring one another and being reabsorbed by the whole again. She remembered a lot of the shapes from when she'd been part of the endless, but none of them were right. And not just because it turned out to be very difficult to make your own shape when there was only you to make it. None of the shapes she remembered were her. She didn't even really know what she was going to be yet. But she was fiercely, confusedly jealous of it, and each experimental skin and limb and sensory apparatus brought her closer to herself. One day, just as she had succeeded in creating a tentacle and was waving it around, the portal flared. The rippling surface between the 5 points that outlined its shape against the endless changed color as a shadow formed at its center. The shadow darkened, grew larger, and something pushed through from the other side. Not something. Her edges sparked. A someone.